Tapaan sinut kolmelta. Hauska tappaa, ei ku. Welcome to another video about the Finnish language. Today we are focusing on pronunciation issues. Pronunciation, that's actually hard for Finns to say. We only have one S sound. In English you have S, Z, Sh and Ž. So we are not so consequent about pronouncing those, as you can hear from my speaking. Every language has its own phonetic system. Consequently, there are subtle nuances in other languages that we tend to miss because our ear is not trained to hear them. Sometimes these nuances make a difference. They can cause ambiguity and misunderstanding if you don't notice them. Today we are focusing on 5 such cases in Finnish, especially for English speakers. So if English is your native language and you want to learn Finnish properly, you absolutely need to hear this. You will also benefit from this if your language is some other Indo-European language, especially Germanic or Slavic language. Py means a hazel grouse, as you may know from my previous video, while puu means a tree. English speakers may mix up these words because in English you don't have the sound y. Neither do you have u as such. You have u, which is kind of close to u, but it's not the same. So it's unintuitive to make this distinction between puu and py if you are an English speaker. The sound y is close to Swedish du or French tu or German über, but it's not quite the same. The Finnish one is sharper, y, but it's not as sharp as the Swedish and Norwegian y, which comes very close to e. We would use this y sound in loan words like hypnosi or nyanssi, while in English you would use either e or u depending on the context. So you would say hypnosis or nuance. You may also want to make the difference between su and sy. The sound y is one of the first ones you should learn properly when you learn Finnish because it is found in common expressions like hyvää päivää or hyvää yötä. Pöytä means a table, while pouta means a weather when it's not raining, a dry weather. There we have 2 diphthongs that are different, o and ö. In Finnish we have 16 different diphthongs. In English you have only 6 or 7 depending on accent. So in English you have this o diphthong, which comes somewhere in between these Finnish diphthongs, o and ö. But in Finnish you need to make this difference between pouta and pöytä. One of them is a back vowel diphthong, pouta, while the other one is a front vowel diphthong, pöytä. And the more specifically you pronounce it in the back or in the front, the more unambiguous you are in what you want to say, and the more Finnish you sound. In English, you usually pronounce stressed vowels very clearly, while unstressed ones are very vague, usually just So you would say deliberate, while Finns would try to pronounce that word more specifically deliberate or something like that. Because in Finnish, also unstressed vowels are very different from each other. Take the words tule and tuli. There we have unstressed endings. One is e and one is i. Tule means come. Tuli means has come or fire. If you as an English speaker are aware that there's a difference, you will try to stress too much the ending. You would say tule or tuli. That sounds very foreign to a Finnish ear. So to sound Finnish and to be clear, you should keep the ending unstressed, but at the same time make this difference between e and I. Tule, tuli. And that takes some practice because that's very unintuitive for an English speaker. Kävin teillä means I paid you guys a short visit. Kävin teellä means I grabbed a cup of tea. The monophthong e and the diphthong a are different sounds in Finnish, but English speakers tend to miss that. In English you have only the short e, as in pet, kettle, and so on. And then you have the long a, as in hay, paste. And you kind of treat that as a long version of the e sound. This is obvious if you look at French loanwords in English like touché or fiancé. The e sound in the end of the diphthong a is something you don't have in French. English speakers put it there. Try to think deep US South Bible Belt pronunciation. Otherwise, your pronunciation may be way too vague. Finally, the biggest challenge in Finnish for many is that vowels and consonants can be short and long, and they can be combined in many ways. So these words are all different and pronounced differently. Let's look at them. Taka means back or behind. It's actually a prefix. And it's pronounced very short. Short vowels, short consonants. Taka, 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 taka. Foreign speakers tend to pronounce them half long. And that sounds very foreign if you say taka or something like that. Then we have takka, a fireplace. There you should take your time to pronounce the double K. Takka. Think relaxed Italian or Spanish. Takka. Taka means from behind. There you have a long A in the end, but the long A is not stressed. If you speak fast everyday language, you may even whisper the words ending, taka. But it still is very distinct long A sound. The challenge is to keep the long A at the same time as you keep it unstressed. Taakka means a burden. This can be a burden for you. It's pronounced like my last name, Paakkanen. You have a long A, then you have a long K, and then you have a short A after that. Taakka. English speakers or Swedish speakers or German speakers tend to pronounce either short A or a short K, but to keep them both long seems to be a challenge. So that needs some practice. Taakka. Let's get the differences clear. Taka, takka, taakka, takaa. Finally, the word taakkaa is partitive form of taakka, a burden. There you have all the long vowels and consonants. Taakkaa. So all these words are two-syllable words, but the length is very varying from taka to taakkaa. So don't try to make all the syllables equally long, which is the rule in English and other Germanic languages. Keep them different length depending on the number of letters. That's all for now. Please post any comments or questions you have. Like and subscribe, and see you next time. Bye.